Well, it would appear that Elon Musk isn't the only one making an X out of Twitter. If you've been following gaming news in the last few minutes, you may have realized that PlayStation has just announced that starting next week, in just 7 days, PlayStation consoles will no longer be able to post directly to Twitter or X, if you prefer the new version of the site. There's no reason given for why this is happening, but it's pretty impactful. This is big. This is the first of the major console manufacturers to officially drop support for Twitter in a pretty surprising move. Nintendo still has the ability to tweet directly from the Switch, and the Xbox Series X kinda sorta had support for it for a little while, but it's been gone for quite a bit now. These new changes lead me to wonder what exactly happened that Sony decided to drop support for the platform seemingly out of nowhere. I say seemingly because there have been some pretty big changes since Elon Musk took over Twitter, or X, and most of that is related to cost for the site. You're probably familiar with the fact that Twitter now charges users $8 a month to become verified, kind of making that blue check mark meaningless. Then untold thousands of dollars for businesses to become verified, where then they have to pay $50 a month for each employee's account to then become verified, just kind of wringing money from users. And if that wasn't enough, the idea of paying $1 a month to be able to tweet at all has been floated, though that hasn't yet been implemented. And then there's new Twitter Premium Plus, or whatever it's called, for $16 a month, which makes you even more verified. Realistically, it actually bumps your replies even higher than the people that are paying $8 a month, just kind of creating a tiered pay-to-win structure in social media land. So what is happening here, though? What is happening with PlayStation, and why would they kind of abruptly drop Twitter? Well, they haven't given any details or any information. There is a post that if you own a PlayStation console, you can read right now. It reads as follows: important changes to PlayStation communities on your PS5 console. As of November 13th, 2023, integration with X, formerly known as Twitter, will no longer function on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 consoles. This includes the ability to view any content published on X on PS5/PS4, and the ability to post and view content, trophies, and other gameplay-related activities on X directly from PS5/PS4, or link an X account to do so. For details on how to share game captures from PS5, click the button below. And when you do click that button, it just takes you to an article about how to use the PlayStation app to then share your media to wherever you like, whether that's Twitter, Facebook, Blue Sky, or wherever you post these days. Basically just saying you can upload your stuff to the PlayStation app, then it exists on your phone, and you can treat it as any other media that you have on your device. I do think I know the reason for this, and it goes back to the changes that Elon Musk has made to the platform since taking it over. For those of you that are unaware, besides just having paid tiers for users, there are also paid tiers for developers, which is totally separate from having an account for business or having a verified blue check on Twitter. This is to use the API, or application programming interface. Basically, if you want to develop an app that pulls data from Twitter and posts data to Twitter, there are several tiers for that as well. You have the free tier, which just lets you basically log in, and it has severe limitations to it. You can maybe post some tweets with it or whatever. There's the basic one, which they describe as being for hobbyists or prototypes, which again is rate limited, can only post 3,000 posts a month, and can only read 50,000 posts per month. So there's just a lot of, can only read 10,000 posts per month. So it's a little confusing, but you can create 2 apps with that. It costs $100 a month. Then there's Pro, which is, again, rate limited, which I'm not sure exactly what that means. But again, it basically has 1 million reads per month, it looks like, and it lets you post 300,000 posts a month. And that's where things start to get murky, because I'm going to go out on a limb and say that PlayStation users all over the world probably far exceed that limit, which would push PlayStation into the enterprise tier, which says it's for business and scaled commercial projects, which again sounds very much like PlayStation's use case. and it says it's commercial level access that meets your and your customers' specific needs. It's managed services by a dedicated team, complete streams, replay, engagement metrics, backfill, and more features, and that it has monthly subscription tiers, but it doesn't list a price. And the cheaper tier behind that is $5,000 a month, which of course for a company like Sony is nothing. But the fact that they don't list a price for the enterprise tier leads me to believe that it's probably based on usage and metrics and stuff like that. So however much you're tweeting, however much you're using the platform through your app, which in this case would be PlayStation's direct integration to Twitter or X, that lets it display tweets on the PlayStation 5 itself, that lets you post directly from your PlayStation to Twitter. It's one of those things where it's just... It probably has ballooned in size with the popularity of the PS5, with people posting a lot of stuff. I know that I personally use the feature all the time because it's pretty easy to just share your media directly from the home screen of your PlayStation. But I bet this is costing Sony way more than they're willing to pay. And so I think this was just a situation of business dealings gone awry where Twitter wanted one thing and Sony wanted, a substantive discount based on whatever, but that's all conjecture. But I would be willing to bet it comes down to just dollars and cents, as so many things in the corporate world do. But I have to be honest, with the current state of Twitter, I'm not really going to miss this too much. I don't really love being on that platform anymore. I much prefer some of the alternatives that have cropped up, even if they're feature incomplete as of yet. But for now, I guess I'll be sharing my video clips through the PlayStation app. It's one extra step. It's not a huge one, and I don't really care all that much because Twitter, for me, has lost a lot of its value. It's not a really great platform. It's nowhere near as friendly or fun as it used to be. And if I'm being honest, it's mostly bots and spam now. So, cool. I think this is very interesting. If anything, it leads me to wonder if PlayStation will adopt another social media platform. And if they do, what could it be? This type of deep integration was really cool when the PS4 launched back in 2013. But obviously the social media landscape is vastly different than it was. We have like 5 different Twitter replacements out there that people are scattered across. We have Twitter itself kind of making lots of changes that are not popular to its own user base. And then we have, kind of legacy social media, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that, where people still post, but it's not nearly as popular as it was, as is evidenced by the fact that you can't... Who posts on Facebook like directly from a console anymore, which very much was a thing in the last generation. But yeah, that about wraps it up. That's what's going on. Sony has kind of unceremoniously dropped Twitter support. So you've got 7 days left if you want to post directly to it. But after that, it's over. You got to go to the PlayStation app. You've got to use it that way. And yeah, it's the end of an era, but fortunately, it's not an era that I think I'm going to miss too much. But let me know what you think. Is this a bad move? Do you think that Sony should reverse course? Do you think they should just pay whatever Twitter is demanding if that is the case? I've reached out to Sony for comment. They did not make anything available to me as of the publication of this video, but if they do provide me an update, I will make sure to share it with y'all. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to hear more about the latest in gaming news right here on GVG, and I'll see you next time.